Yo, what's good, YouTube? Haven't posted in a minute. I don't think April I posted not like a single video. I promise I'll start getting back to posting. Just to give you guys a quick little summary of how April went for me. So, in the beginning of April, I transitioned to another company temporarily. The OTE was like very off, and not any of the setters were hitting that OTE, so I ended up leaving that company. So kind of brought to my attention, like, why not make a video for you guys so that you guys could be asking more useful questions on your interviews, so that you guys are able to identify a good versus bad offer, but also be able to like tell if, because sometimes in some instances you don't always have to like accept an offer just because it sounds and looks good, right? You're able to like identify your skill set. So let's say a big company reaches out to you, they're bringing you on, but then you realize that your skill set might not be quite there yet, then sometimes it would be best just sticking with your current company and like doing that sort of stuff. But regardless, I'm just gonna kind of like hop right into things. In terms of April, still made like 5K last month. Nothing crazy. I'm still trying to push to like those first 10K months. Potential might hit this month. We'll see how things play out. But right now I'm closing full time, and then I'm also managing on the side as well. But yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. But without further ado, let's get into it. If you're just getting into high ticket sales, bro, it's like the perfect video for you, because you guys are gonna start getting more interviews here pretty soon once you guys obviously start getting better. And yeah, let's kind of hop right into it. So the first question, this doesn't have to, well, actually, this is my order. So the questions that I'm gonna ask and show you guys, this is like the order that I would do it. You guys can mix it up a little bit, doesn't really matter. But this is how I personally would like to word it. So my first question is gonna be like, how many closes and like setters do you have? So this really just gonna give you a better idea of like how big the team is. Obviously, the bigger the team, the more distributed the revenue is gonna be at the end of the day. So for example, if there's 10 closers on a team, obviously you're gonna be getting like a tenth of the revenue, assuming that like you're easing your way into it. Obviously it could go up or down depending on how well you perform. But just keep that in mind, that the total revenue that the company is bringing in, the more closers or sellers are going to be, that means more prospects are going to be assigned to different people. Me personally, I like working with smaller teams. I don't want having like 15 or 20 closers on the team. Might be a little stingy for that, but at the end of the day, if you're working for like a bigger company though, like for Bill Walsh or like some other big influencer on social media, then having a good amount of closures to sellers, that's a different game, because they're doing 7 to 8 figures a month. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really make much of a difference. Um, but yeah, how many closers and sellers you guys have? That's just the first basic question to kind of open up the floor with. Because obviously in the interview process, once you're getting interviewed by the offer owner or by the operator, whoever is interviewing you, they're gonna ask you like, yeah, man, do you have any questions at the end of the interview? That's when you're gonna be asking these questions, obviously. Second question would be something along the lines of like, how many calls do you expect me to book per day? So that'd be as like a SDR at the end of the day. So like as a SDR, how many calls should I be booking in per day? From the closer side of things, it would be like, how many calls should I have on my calendar per day? Or how many calls does your guys' closer typically have booked on their calendar per day? So that lets you know what type of lead flow is coming through. Obviously, as a closer, as a full-time role, I say you should have minimum 4 to 5 plus calls booked on your calendar per day. As a closer, part-time role, it would be somewhere between like 2 to 4, I'd say. And as a setter, realistically, you should be shooting for like 5 to 6-ish sets per day. Anything below that would be more like a part-time type of role. But it also just depends on lead flow at the end of the day. So it kind of foreshadows you into like getting to like the lead flow question. Next question is really more so for the offer specifically. So like, what's the price point, so that you know how much you're selling for. If you're selling for like a 5K program, 10K, 50K program, as well as the ROI for customers. I feel like this is a very underrated question asked on interviews. I feel like not a lot of guys even ask this question, but like, what's the ROI for the customers once they join the program? How fast do your guys' customers make back their investment? So this is really just gonna tell you like how long does it take for the clients to make back the investment? Like, is your guys' program like good? How fast is it? How fast do they get results? So that's a very good question you could start asking on your interviews. The next question would be, is the offer like, are you dealing with inbound or outbound leads? Obviously, inbound are a lot warmer, more well nurtured. Outbound, opposite. And then where are the leads coming from? Are they doing organic, paid ads, LinkedIn, Facebook ads, all sorts of different stuff? Typically, with offers that are getting their leads from Facebook, usually dealing with like an older demographic. So something to keep in mind compared to like organic or paid ads. Sometimes you'll be getting like a younger demographic usually. So younger demographics usually don't have as much money to invest. So something to keep in mind moving forward. Sixth is like lead flow. Well, how many new leads are you guys usually generating per day? With a big company, sometimes they'll generate like hundreds or even thousands per day. With an e-com company, I'd say anywhere from like maybe 10 to 30 new leads a day is pretty consistent or pretty solid at least. Obviously, the more the better, but realistically, anything under 10, then you have to take in consideration. So after lead flow, it ties back to closing and setting again. Like, what's your guys' average close rate, and average show rate? And on top of that, on top of the average, I would also ask them like, what do you guys like want to be at? So let's say their average close rate is like 35%. Okay, is that like the average? Is the average going to be the same as like how much you guys want your closes to be at? Yeah, well, realistically, we want our closes to have like a 44% close rate. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So average close rate, average show rate as a setter, as a SDR, self-explanatory. Next question. Now we're getting into like the good questions here. Some of my favorite questions. What's your guys' top closer making, and what's your guys' bottom closer making? So from the closer perspective, setting perspective, same question, just fill in closer with setter or SDR. So this gives you like a range. Our bottom closer is making 5K a month. Our top closer is making 15K a month. So you know that you should be falling somewhere within between, assuming you're not a NPC, you know what I mean? Or assuming that they're not lying and assuming that you're actually good at closing. A question to follow up with this would be like, how fast does it take for you guys' closers? How fast does it take for you guys' setters to hit your guys' OTE? So to be honest, going into your interview, you should already know like what the OTE is. You guys should always be asking like, how fast is it taking your guys to hit that OTE mark eventually? So that definitely be a super good one to hit. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that for now. Another one after that would be like, how long have you guys' closers or setters been on the team? So if they have hired guys within the last 3 months, but the company's been up and running for like several years now, I would think to myself, like, why are they like hiring a bunch of like new SDRs or new closers? There could be several different factors. One factor that comes in mind is the OTE. They promised like an unrealistic OTE, so the SDRs or the closers just left. And the second one that comes to mind is that it's just like a bad culture environment, bad team environment, or something related to the fulfillment team. They were getting chargebacks, or they were there. There could be a variety of different reasons, but I feel like that's a slept on question to ask too. So like, how long have you guys' setters and closers? What's the longest your guys' like setter or closer has been on the team? Or our longest closer has been on the team for like the past like 6 years now, or the past, I don't know, 6 months, 12 months. That's not bad, right? So that's a good one. Yeah. And then moving on to the next, is there any room to move up? Obviously, no one's goal at the end of the day should be just to be an SDR or a setter their entire life. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but like, I'd much rather make 10% commission than 5% commission. I don't know about you guys, but is there room to move up in the future? So just something to keep in mind of, or are they strictly keeping you at SDR or setter or hybrid, like no matter how long you're with the company? So that's a good one to ask. Um, and then the last two questions revolve more around the company and the team. So to finish off like the interview on like a positive, on like a good note, I would say something along the lines of like, if you guys had to summarize your guys' team culture and environment in like one word, what would that one word be? So this gets the interviewer to like really think about like the culture and interview. And then if it's anything like skeptical, like, or they say like something like weird, you could ask like why, like what makes you say that? So you're looking interviewing them. And then after that, what's your guys' company goal over the next 6 to 12 months? Yeah, man. So we're doing like 250 grand in revenue right now. We really want to get to like 750 grand in revenue, or like a million a month in revenue. So they're looking to 3 to 4x their size over the next 6 to 12 months. Something to keep in mind as well, so that you kind of understand. But it also makes you seem like you also care about like the company, like their goals, their mission, and that sort of stuff. Um, so yeah, those are kind of like my questions. I think I had 13 on here, but I think I told you guys like 15 or 16. There's obviously more questions you could add on. You guys could mix up the order, do whatever you got to do. But to be honest, those are some questions I wish I knew back in November when I first got into high ticket sales, because I have been on quite a few interviews by now. To be honest, I hate to say it, but I've been on more crappy interviews than actually like good, not interviews. I've been on more bad offers than good offers in the past. So if this is able to help you guys save a week of your time, 2 weeks, even 3 weeks of your time, then hopefully it is able to help you guys out. I'm gonna start posting consistently again. I know I've been slacking super bad. I'm gonna start posting more value videos. Maybe start posting some of my closing calls as well for you guys. I've really just been honing in on my craft, as well as like setting to really like focusing on internal mastery and really mastering like my discovery down. So super excited to share some of those with you guys eventually. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Hope you guys found some sort of value, even if it was just like one question that you guys could start asking on your guys' interviews for high ticket sales. That'll be a plus for me. And feel free to reach back out to me. I'll pop my Instagram right here, CCompy and JJ. You guys could shoot me a text on Instagram with any questions that you might have. And super excited going into May, already starting off the month on a super good foot. So just looking forward to scaling this up with you guys. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on how May goes, and I'll be posting again here pretty soon. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Keep God first in every aspect of your life. And yeah, catch you guys on the next one.